Hey, welcome to this IG Live where I'm going to go over how to map out your quarterly plan for 2022 to hit your first six-figure year. And I just got a haircut. So, hello, if you're welcome, or if you're welcoming us, if you're joining us now live, hi. So I am going to be posting the replay. So if you're watching the replay right now, you might want to scrub ahead a little bit for when we actually get started. But hello, welcome, Brianna. Who else do we got in here? Brianna, Kimberly, Catherine, Paul, Appleby, hello, Jordan. Welcome. I'm just going to give it about a minute before we get started. If you're watching this, right, definitely want to get like something to write with and write on. This is a very thorough mini training. This is like straight from my VIP vault. Same kind of training that my clients receive. This is like a no fluff, straight to the point training. Like I'm here to give you value and I'm so excited because holy shit, guys, it's about to be 2022. Like, can we just talk about that for a second? And definitely in terms of numerology, I just know it's going to be a fucking epic year. So before we get started, I also want you to know that this is a co-creative conversation. I don't want to be talking at you the whole time. So feel free to drop things in the chat box. Let me just see who's here. If you want to just drop your name in the comments or drop an emoji, just let me know that you're alive and that you're watching this. I would love to see that. And then also, obviously, feel free to drop in comments while I'm going through this and your questions as well. And I'll save room for the end to go through the questions, but just know that, again, what I'm going to be taking you through is straight from my VIP vault. And I really want you to walk away with the know-how so that you can then create this plan to have a badass killer 2022. Because you guys, 2022 is the year that us light workers, us healers, us guides, we are calling in more wealth. We are calling more abundance, leadership, impact. Like that's it. This is the year. So I see we got Jordan here, Catherine, yes, Brianna, excited, let's go. Again, drop an emoji, let me know that you're alive here, and feel free to be dropping in the chat the whole time. Like, this is a co-creative experience. Okay, so I'm going to give it hello, hi. Oh, yes, Alex is here. Alex just joined UCB last night. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have you in the cohort. I can speak. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started, and whoever funnels in will funnel in. Okay, so first off, let's talk about, by the way, full transparency, I'm looking at my laptop. So if you're seeing me look off the screen, that's why, because who's going to memorize all this shit? So first, let's talk about the 4 reasons why you need to plan your year ahead, okay? I'm going to go through 4 of these. Number 1 is for the masculine-feminine balance. So it's this idea that when you plan ahead in your business, right, you're putting on your masculine hat, creating that structure, you're then creating the safety for the feminine to flow, right? The creativity, the being, the fun in your business. So it's really important that we have that balance, but it actually begins with the masculine, right? The masculine creates that security. And this is something that I'm always talking about because the way that I coach is really based in this feminine masculine balance. It's not just strategy and it's not just like, manifesting. It's having that nice balance. Okay, so that's reason number 1. The second reason that we plan our year ahead as a coach, right? Or as an entrepreneur, if you're watching this and you're not a coach. 2 is to plan for your revenue, right? So you're going to allow yourself to have a really good idea of how much you should be expecting during each month. And you're a legitimate business, right? You're not just like throwing spaghetti on the wall. Like you are a legitimate business. So you have to really think and act like a legitimate business, which actually brings me to point number 3, is the CEO energy that planning your year ahead creates. Okay, if we are going to create a new earth, we have to operate our singular businesses as these old earth big corporations do, right? If you think about any of the big companies, they know well a year in advance what is coming, what they're launching, what the marketing plan is going to be, and everything like that. So it is no different for us as coaches, right? We got to put on our CEO tiaras or hats, and we have to say, like, I'm going to really commit to planning this in advance because I'm going to know exactly where I'm going, right? And then reason number 4, I'm loving the hearts. Yeah, feel free to interact. Let's go. Reason number 4 is to create a powerful framework for your marketing. Okay, if you know exactly what you're launching when, what you're selling each month, you're gonna know also where you need to be in terms of your marketing, in terms of if you're warming up your audience, if you're being a little bit more hot and you're actually directly selling them, you're gonna have that all laid out, right? Because you're gonna know, oh, in quarter 1, in March, week 3, I am launching my 8-week program, right? So I'm gonna know about 6 weeks before, I'm gonna really focus on warming up my audience through this kind of content, right? And there's a lot of layers to this that we're obviously not gonna be able to get through in one live because otherwise this will be like 4 hours long. But that's also where you can check out a lot of my free resources, as well as if you want to deepen the work even further, potentially join my mastermind or UCB, my accelerator program. So now that we've gone through the 4 reasons why, which just to recap, I know I'm going through this pretty quick, but it's because we got a lot of info. Number 1 is the masculine feminine balance. Number 2 is to plan for your revenue. Number 3 is to be in the CEO energy. And number 4 is to create a powerful framework for your marketing. So just so I can see who's alive here, who's still watching, does that all make sense? Drop an emoji in the comments. Any questions about that before we move on? Don't forget to drink your water. Awesome. Love it. Jordan, Brianna, Vanny. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, love it. Okay, Alex. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so what I'm going to now go over is the entire overview. I'm grateful for you too, Jordan. I'm going to go over the overview on how to plan your year ahead. So this is actually like the vegan meat of today's training. So you're gonna wanna take notes. Yeah, let's just go ahead, dive right in. I have about 4 points here. So again, I'm giving you the instructions so that then after this training, you can go do it on your own. Obviously, like you could do it as we go, but it might be better to just like receive and then implement, okay? So how do we plan our year ahead? How do we do that? I'm laughing in the comments. Okay, so first, we're going to get a little bit into the feminine energy before going into the masculine energy. So step number 1 to plan your year is to actually set an intention for the year. And then as well, I'm going to invite you to create 2 tangible goals and 2 intangible goals. Why? We're going to start with an intention because we're actually infusing, and my light just died. Why does this always happen? Hold on. Well, I don't think we really need it anyway. All right, universe, distracting me here. We set an intention because we're creating the energy, the foundational energy for our actions, right? There's a reason why we're doing what we're doing. Right? Like, why do you even care? Like, what is the purpose of you investing all the time and energy that you do into your business, right? Let's create this energetic framework for you to step in so that it can manifest into your reality. So like I said, a little bit more of that feminine energy. So setting an intention, right? What would I like my intention for 2022 to be? right? Because it is a new year. It is a year filled with new opportunities for you to expand, for you to reach more people, and for you to, of course, call in more abundance. And then beyond that, getting a little bit more specific, right? Let's create 2 tangible goals for the year for your business. So tangible meaning, right? It's graspable. And then 2 intangible. So I have an example for you, right? Intention for 2022, and this is actually my own personal intention. I really want to continue to follow the expansion, meaning I really want to continue doing things in my business that feel good for me and removing all of the shoulds, right? Because I have now, to this point, created such a solid masculine structure that I can play around with this. And that is a powerful opportunity that really presents itself when you put in that initial work to create that masculine foundation in your business. And then my top 2 tangible goals. First, I'm definitely calling in on my $1 million mark in the business in total revenue. And then I would also like to serve over 100 people in 2022. And then in terms of my 2 intangible goals, I would like to feel even more embodied in my brand and in my mission here. And I would also like to have even more balance, work-life balance in my business. Okay, so inviting you to do the same, right? Setting that intention and those 4 total goals. Okay, step number 1. Now, before we go into step number 2, I want to hear from you guys, just like right off the bat. You can obviously like sit with it more and journal about it later, but what are your intentions for 2022? Like, let's just get it started. Get that step 1. Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. What is your intention stepping into 2022? And while I wait for that, I'm going to take more water sips. Alex, would being more structured in the business be tangible or non-tangible? That's a really good question. So I would say it's more tangible, right? Because you're looking at like actual like putting things in place in your business. We want to think of more intangible goals as almost being more like inner goals, like inner in terms of your own personal world, your own personal experience with your business. Vanessa would like to live in alignment with her higher self. Pamela, to be more present, balanced with your feminine and masculine energies in your business. Yes. Jordan, health and wealth, masculine and feminine balance. Hell yeah. I love all the balance you guys are calling in. Yes. Anyone else want to share their intention for 2022? I'm all here for it, celebrating you stepping into this evolution. Very exciting. Okay, so now let's talk about step 2. Okay, step 2 is very simple. You're just going to separate your year into quarters. Okay, so think about it as being 3-month increments. That's obviously what quarters are. So Q1 is going to be January through March, Q2, April through June, Q3, July through September, and then Q4, October through December. So what I actually recommend is if you're doing this in real time or if you do it later, I literally just did this on my notes app on my MacBook. Keep it simple. If you're one of those like pen to paper people, you can just write like Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And then what you're also going to want to do is under each quarter, like write out each month on its own as well. So like January, February, March, April, May, June, blah, 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 go through the year. Okay, so that's step 2, super easy. Just separate the year into quarters. Step 3, now we're getting back more into the I can speak today. This always happens at the end of the day. You're going to get more into the complex part of the training. Step 3 is you want to take a look at your entire year and you want to start and decide what you want to launch and when. So a couple of things here. Can you say the months again? Yeah, they're just 3-month increments. So you'll do January, February, March is Q1, April, May, June, Q2, so on and so forth. So it should be 4 groups of 3. So with when you were deciding what to launch and when, you have to account for a couple of things, okay? One, when you think about the date in which you're going to launch, that language, at least in the way that I coach, is really the date in which you are like officially opening the doors for your offer. So let's say UCB, right, which I'm actually officially about to open the doors next week. I have that date locked in as next Wednesday. And this is actually something that I planned a year ago. Yeah, because I did this training, right? So I have in my calendar, I will put down, right, if you wrote out the months, in this case, for the next year, right, it'd be under January. I'm going to launch UCB on this date, right? What you're also going to do is take into account when the offer, the program, whatever the experience is going to begin. So what you're actually doing is you're accounting for the launch process, how long it is, which typically, it really depends on the coach, but your launch can be anywhere as short as 3 weeks long or 2 weeks long to 6 weeks long. I personally used to do longer launches because I liked having more time to really, captivate my audience and sell. But now I've really shortened my launch time. So it's only about 4 weeks long, right? So what you're just starting to do is you're starting to really look at your year and really decide based on the length of time of your offer, how you can actually physically fit it in. So a little bit of that masculine structure. What do I mean by that, right? If I know I have an 8-week program, right? I know that I can only do my 8-week program a certain amount of times throughout the year because it's 8 weeks long. I also know I have to account for the launch time, right? So I know between when I open the doors and how long my program is, that entire process ends up being around 3 months, right? So then I know, I have 3 months. I can really, if I wanted to, launch UCB 3 times next year, right? If I wanted to, I could do it 2, but I wouldn't be able to launch it 5 times, right? Because the way in which the time frame, it just wouldn't work out. So you're going to start to map that out. Now, this is something that I really talk about inside of UCM, but as you create your signature offer, right? That's step 1 as a coach. You're creating a signature offer that is scalable. It is something that you get really good at marketing and calling in, and then you're also getting really good at getting your clients results. You start there, right? You start with your signature offer. That's what I teach inside of UCB, right? Because you have to start somewhere. As a coach, you don't start right off the bat like having a zillion offers, because you have to build your house one brick layer at a time. So once you start to become more advanced, right, you start to create different offers. So let's look at my business, for example. I have UCB, which was the first offer that I created, 8 weeks long. Then after that, I birthed UCM, my 4-month level high mastermind, 4-month high level mastermind. And then after that, I started doing VIP coaching, right? So I, right now, only have 3 offers. But with that, I know I can look at my year and then I can start to plan it out. So what the more advanced strategy is essentially you get to a point where every month you're selling something. Every single month there's some kind of offer that you are putting out there for your audience. Now, when you start to map out when you're opening the doors, when you're launching, and when you start that offer, you'll then start to create the structure from your marketing, for your marketing, right? So that's where you'll get a really good idea. If I know I'm launching my VIP in March, I know to start warming up my VIP soulmate client around, 6 weeks to 8 weeks before I officially start that offer, right? Let me just check in with all of you because it's pretty complex. And I'm more of a visual learner as well, which is just the one con with Instagram Live. But let me just check in with you. Is this making sense so far? Just throw a thumbs up or an emoji in the comments so I know that you guys are on track. Got a thumbs up from Jordan. Hey, hey. And Leah. Hey, hey. Yay. And Alex. Hey. And Brianna. Guys, I'm ridiculous. You're getting a taste. Like, this is no different than how I actually act with my clients. You can ask any of them. I got a hey from Kim too. Let's go. Okay, babes. I'm glad you're following along. And again, I will leave time at the end for questions, Q&A. Okay. So that's step 3. Now, going back to the way in which you write it out, right? So you have all the months laid out and they are separated into quarters. And so you can start to look, okay, I'm going to launch, this offer in March, or I'm going to launch this. And if you're one of, the newer coaches that only has one offer right now, that's okay, because if you are expanding, which you are, you're committed, then you will have more offers that will be birthed, and then you can just add them into the plan as you go. So don't worry if you just have one offer right now. Just focus on planning that one offer, and just know that's amazing that you even have one offer. Okay. Me composing my thoughts here. Okay, so... Oh, guys, this is what happens when I do lives at the end of the day. And I had coffee this morning, and I don't normally have coffee, so I'm like extra squirrely. So just to repeat that last point, you're going to have it mapped out, and then that's also going to add that layer to your marketing, because you're going to know where you need to be in the process of warming up your audience, which is essentially building know, like, and trust within your audience, really calling in those soulmate clients. And there's like a whole strategy on how we build know, like, and trust that I teach inside of UCB that, again, would take like 3 hours if I went on that now. So we're going to go on to step 3. So, no, this is step 4. Step 4, okay? We just went through step 3, which is decide what you'll be launching and when. Step 4, from there, this is where you get to play with that CEO energy, and you're going to write out your achievable and your expansive revenue goals for each month. So what do I mean by that? Okay, you're gonna be officially opening the doors to your offer in February. You know that offer then starts in March. Okay, so that means in February you're gonna be selling, right? So put an intention in there, start to manifest. How many clients are you going to be calling in that month, right? Maybe it's 10. Okay, so maybe it's 10. You're going to write, 10 clients. And then, you sell your offer for $2,500 for 8 weeks. So then you would write 2,500 times 10. Boom. That's going to be your expected revenue for that month. Okay. Now, what do I mean by this difference between achievable and expansive? Well, this is where you get to have fun in what you're evolving and what you're stepping into, and knowing that you can create any reality that you want. So we want to think about the achievable as being what it sounds like, right? It's the number that you feel like, fuck yeah, I know I can call in 5 clients at $2,500 for 8 weeks. So I know that I can do that. But, what would my edge be? Like, what would be meeting my edge? Maybe that's like, bumping it up to 3,000 for 8 weeks and calling in like 15 clients. That feels like a stretch, but I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to write it down because it's going to be expansive for me. So that would be your expansive revenue, expected revenue goal for that month. So you are going to want to have those 2 numbers, right? Because that's a little bit of that feminine energy. You're stepping into what is possible. As an unstoppable creator, you could very well end up meeting that expansive. So why not throw that in your quarterly plan? Let me get a little emoji if you resonate with that. And as I love it. Hearts, let's go, let's go. Okay, so as you're doing that for each month, then you're going to want to total it up for each quarter, right? So quarter 1, what's going to be that achievable revenue? What's going to be that expansive? Achievable and expansive. And then for Q2, what's going to be that achievable? What's going to be that expansive? You're going to total it each up for each quarter. And then step 5 is you're going to total up your entire revenue. So the entire thing for the entire year, the achievable total, and then the expansive total, as well as the total number of clients that you would be expecting for the achievable and for the expansive. Right? Woo! So, step 6 then, finally, is once you have this written out, what I recommend, you don't have to do this, but I highly recommend, is then mapping all of this out in an actual calendar. This is gonna make your life so fucking easy. Oh my God. Why? Because let's say, right, January 1st is about to come around the corner, right? You made this plan. You know that you're selling, again, using an example, your 8-week program in January. You're gonna know, okay, boom, week 1, I know that I need this kind of content for my audience to really warm them up for the sale. Ooh, week 2, I know that I'm gonna wanna talk about this, right? Week 3, I'm gonna talk about this. Week 4, I'm gonna be teasing them because then I'm gonna launch, right? And then you're able to really see your plan, and then you can, if you like, even add a content plan to the calendar. You can actually map it out, and that gets it's not that complex, but it's just another layer of masculine structure that you can add to your year. And this is something that really, really helps expand you in your business when you're not just going through the dark, not knowing what's coming and when it's coming. When you actually spend the time to create a plan like this, you are, again, giving yourself that masculine structure, right? Creating systems, you're getting organized so that then okay, week 2, I get to make this kind of content. Now I get to be in my feminine because I know exactly what direction, and I'm feeling really inspired today. I'm going to go shoot this video, or I'm going to write this post, right? It's giving you more freedom. There is, once we have more discipline, it actually does create more freedom. So those are the steps to create your quarterly plan. Holy moly, so awesome. I cannot wait to just hear from you guys how this ends up going. But for now, I just want to open the floor to any questions about anything that we went over before we wrap up. And while you guys are asking questions, if you have them, I'm actually going to totally recommend that if you end up, actually no, not if you, when you map this out, and if you want to post a story and tag me, I'm going to cheer you on, baby, because I love seeing that you are committed to 2022 being your most expansive year yet. So feel free to tag me. I'll celebrate your booty with you, do a little dance party. But yeah, so does anyone have any questions? It could be about anything that I just went over or anything else. What are your favorite apps to use as containers for these structures? Ooh, really good question, Olivia. So first, I use my notes app on my computer. But then what I also did for the calendar is if you Google free 2022 calendar, Google Sheets has a free calendar that you can then use. So then what I do is I just go in my notes and then I'll use that free calendar that they allow to download. Now, another amazing app that I've heard that people use, and I've actually used with some of my other coaches, is called Notion. Notion's really great because it allows you to create, it's very just a simple infrastructure, but allows you to really create organization. So why not check out Notion? Yeah, thanks for that question. Does anyone have any other questions? And if you're watching the recording and you enjoyed this, let me know. Feel free to comment below this IGTV. I love hearing from all of you. Catherine's using Notion, get it? Yes, it's been great. Jordan, how do you rebalance when you feel stressed about launches? Girl, I feel like I could have a whole masterclass on just that question, but what I'll say now is I really like to see the launch process as a spiritual evolution and also as an opportunity to really meet your inner child and your shadows. So when you're feeling really stressed out about launches, what if you actually looked at it as despite my business and what it's showing me, is actually offering me an opportunity to look at the story that's coming up. What do I mean? Your launch is just a mirror, a reflection for something that's already within you. And it just happens that in this point in time, the launch is what is reflecting that back at you. But maybe, it could be another person that would reflect that back at you, or your relationship to your mom, or something like that. But for now, this launch is just bringing up things to the surface that already were in your system. So you get to really look at it. And something that I always walk my clients through is looking at the story, looking at what the ego is telling you. What meanings are you making it? What stories is it wanting you to run with? And just try to witness it. Just try to witness the ego, right? Just like witness it. And know that the launch process is a fucking roller coaster. At the beginning, you're going to feel really high, and then, maybe no sales calls are coming in, and you're going to feel really low. And then after that, you get another call, and it's going to feel really high. So what you have to do is you have to stay radically committed through the entire process and really prioritize holding space for yourself, right? If you're feeling frustrated, close the laptop and go take a break. That means there needs to be a refocus of energy back into the present moment, back to your joy and back to your why. So that's what I can share with you now. That just kind of channeled through. I hope that resonates with you. And hi, Andrea. Oh my goodness. Hi, love. Brilliant breakdown. Jen. Yes. Catherine, should we plan content for every week? Okay. So for that, there really is okay, I'm trying to compose my thoughts here because there's a lot coming through. I'm not one of those coaches who's like, you should do this, or you have to do this. I always say this is what works for me, but you have to kind of take what resonates. So for me, I'm going to be real with you. I do not have my content exactly what kind of post and what TikTok I'm doing planned out a month in advance. But what I do know is a general theme for each week. So for instance, what I mean is last week, now that I'm telling you this, you're probably going to notice, but last week, my theme was about money and was about wealth dynamics. So I had that planned out well ahead of time, but did I have Wednesday's post is going to be like this and Thursday's TikTok is going to be like this? No. Sometimes I will literally write a post day of, because I really like to follow the way my energy flows and the way that my inspiration comes to fruition. So that's where, I'm going to invite you to feel into what feels good for you. But what I do recommend is at least having a general idea for what that topic, that theme of the week is, if that makes sense. Amazing. Okay. Any other questions before we close out? And while I'm waiting for questions to come through, if there are any, I just want to invite you, if you're feeling the call to go deeper, that there's 2 more days to join UCM if you're a current coach who wants to scale to $10,000 months. And there's 2 more days to get in on UCB, my 8-week accelerator program, the early bird offer. After that, all my prices are going to be going up in 2022, but UCB is going to be officially opening the doors next week. I say officially in air quotes because we already have 8 women who have taken the leap. And so, yeah, I'm just inviting you, if you're feeling that call, you can shoot me a DM. I can answer any of your questions and we can go over any of that information. I'm really excited because already the people that I'm calling in, we're just stepping into 2022 on fire. And I'm really, really excited to help us all co-create New Earth, right? You guys are all New Earth coaches because you are leading with your spiritual self in your business first. So thank you, Jen. All right. If I don't see any other questions coming through, I'll give it 1 more second. But any other questions about what we went over? I love your questions. We've had so many beautiful people pop in. Oh, okay. Going once. Going twice. Ooh, going 3 times. All right, babes. Happy New Year. I hope you all tomorrow evening have a beautiful, incredible, nourishing New Year's Eve. I will see you guys next year. But actually, I just realized no, because I'm going to be posting things tomorrow. I'm always around. But I do hope that you guys have a beautiful New Year. Sending you so much love. Again, if you liked this training, feel free to post it on your story if you end up doing your quarterly plan. And if you're watching the replay, feel free to comment below. All right, guys, until next time, goodbye.